Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at bigwavetrading.com, and I want to start this video lesson out this weekend by showing you the average midterm election cycle year versus all other years since 1931. Right now, you are here. You're in this April window right here. This chart for this midterm year, if you'll notice, we are now weaker. We got that March sell-off. So we've got that in the market, right? You can actually see it to your left. If you just look, I got the IWM up for now, but this is a daily IWM. And you can see the dates on the bottom. But you can see we got the March sell-off, but this year was a little bit weaker than the other years. We are now in the seasonally bullish month of April during midterm election year cycles. But what follows April? This. So enjoy your bullish or bearish personal bias narrative until price actually confirms that we want to trend up, quote, easily on the upside or downside. I'm going to take my marching orders from this analog chart going back to 1931 of midterm election years versus all other years. I've been doing this for a very long time. I almost hate dating myself because I am old, but I've been involved in one way, shape, or form with the market for 25 years. And every midterm election year, this happens. In every midterm election year, there's bulls and bears that just blow my eardrums out. I don't get it. I never will. But this year is really playing out, on point. But we are now in the sweet spot that is April. So just remember that. This is April. This is what happens normally during the rest of the election year. And never forget, no one is off sides here. Yes, sentiment is bearish, but there was no panic, quote, bottom. There were no multiple legs for a downtrend, probably for that to happen. So for right now, we just have a market pullback. This isn't anything more than a minor correction. This is not a cyclical bear market yet. It could be during the summer months, and it, God willing, will not turn into a secular bear market. I'm in a secular bull camp till at least 2034. So I want to get that midterm election year chart out, and actually we're looking at IWM because it's our leading index, so we're going to focus on this one, I guess, for this video lesson. But you'll notice here, the tickets indicator, that's a member at Big Wave Trading, has codified the moving average convergence divergence line into the stair-step indicator. It has not stair-stepped higher once it got below the zero line the entire move lower. We have our first stair-step higher. Now we need another one. Okay? What I'm looking for in the daily time frame is similar to what we have on the hourly. Now you'll notice while we were selling off from the highs going into this low, the tickets indicator on the IWM never got above the zero line. Well, it finally peeked its head above the zero line on the hourly time frame. Does that mean you buy? It sure doesn't, because the daily is leading us. The dog is wagging the tail. This is the dog. This is the tail. But once it got below the zero line and reclaimed it, now it can be actionable. And we have that with a positive divergence. You can see higher lows on this indicator versus lower lows on this index. And now what we'll be looking for, if you want to play the IWM, is a breakout above these recent resistance levels, and that would confirm what we're seeing on the hourly. Now, what you're looking at on the hourly, the stair step higher, getting above the zero, failing it maybe, doesn't always fail it obviously, but then reclaiming it. This is stair stepping higher, but it's on an hourly time frame. I need to personally see it on a daily time frame. And if we look at the QQQ, listen, we've got that first stair step higher, but it ain't nothing to work with yet, or it is not anything to work with yet. You can look at the hourly time frame. We're still below the zero line, but we have those stair steps. The SPY is back above the zero line. We have those stair steps. DIA seems to be our new leader. If you just look at this indicator, it's stair stepping well above the zero line. Now you just want to see a breakout above this recent high. But overall, it's hard for me to be too bearish in the very, very short term when you have what happened today along with what I'm looking at with my tickets indicator. Now, are my ratio charts lined up? No, I don't see any bullish higher highs series of higher lows in my XLY versus XLP, my QQQ versus SPY, my aggressive versus defensive, my growth versus value ratio charts. So it just looked like it's an April midterm election year leg higher, and more, I would say the reason why I even believe, which I hate that word, the reason that I think that we will move higher is that today was a complete news failure day. So I live on an island in Maui in the middle of the ocean, 2,000 miles away from the nearest shoreline of either the east or the west. And whenever I checked futures last night, I had the NASDAQ 100 and the Russell 2000 down 2%. They were at one point down 2% last night. Bearish news after bearish news. We open up big open body candle. Do you think that that will help or hurt the accumulation distribution line that is near all-time highs on the QQQ? I'll tell you right now, it's going to help it. IWM, it's going to help it. DIA, it's going to help it. SPY, it's going to help it. This is what I call a news failure. When you combine this happening in the market after being down 2% overnight with all the bearish news, and then you look at what oil did today, look at oil hitting new highs. You would rationally and logically think that if that's happening, the market must have had a disgusting negative 2% or more down day, right? Nope, green. Nope, green. So we have that news failure, oil news failure, bearish narrative following Trump's speech last night, news failure. Then on top of that, we were talking recently about starting to see the generals look like they were getting taken out to the woodshed. On Monday, LITE looked like it was ready to finally fail. So did AAOI. MU was already looking weak. SanDisk finally had a bad day. TSEM had a poor session. Nothing terrible there, though, right? And Sienna had a bad session. Where do we look on all of those by Friday? Sienna, new highs. LITE, new highs. TSEM, new highs. AAOI, reclaim. SanDisk, holding in. MU is the weakest of the bunch, didn't make lower lows. This also, to me, is a news failure. When we all believe that they're now finally taking out the generals and now it's all over for the market, and they immediately say, nope, I don't think so, that's just more news failure to me. So it really, really adds up. And what I really suggest people do, one thing that you might ask, why do you only do weekend video lessons? How come you don't post on Twitter throughout the week? Guys, I stay the fuck away from social media. It is beyond toxic. I cannot stand whatever is going on in people's heads. I just deal with facts. I just deal with reality. I'm a George Carlin, Richard Pryor kind of guy. I've thought about this because of based on the evidence of what I see from our politicians. I don't give a shit about Republicans. I don't give a shit about Democrats, right wing, left wing. This is where I stand. This is my team. I don't care at all. They are both toxic sides, if you ask me, and what it does to the general public is just sad. And so, unfortunately, I do like to look at FinTwit, trading Twitter, but sadly, everyone that I seem to respect eventually makes a political statement that just makes me cringe. And it does, once again, right wing, left wing, it's a bird, heads, tails, it's a coin. It doesn't matter to me. It's noise, it's garbage. And when I think of what social media has been like the past week and what the market is actually doing, oh, there's a lot of people off sides. But then I look at this commitment of traders data, and on the indices, I see it's completely neutral. So once again, I will reference this chart based on the commitment of traders being completely neutral. Should I expect an uptrend that then just keeps on going like these non-midterm years? No. No, positioning is not off sides. It's completely neutral. There's just no way I can be either bullish or bearish until the end of the year once we get through this midterm election cycle. So it's been very impressive, but bottom line is there is still work to do. And this evening, I actually don't have any new long positions, but there's quite a few stocks that look good to me. BNAI on the spec side. I really like this IPO, Gen B. I got an IPO base here. I could set buy stops above this high and this high, and I might. I have to research more into it, but I do like Gen B. I also noticed Ship and Frontier, the shipping stocks, they look really good. SKM, here's another a semiconductor AI data center, optics related name that looks good. AEHR, I really like this base on base pattern. I really like this stock. Its industry group is number 5 out of 197. It looks good. And then, of course, you have GSAT. Hopefully, it can give me a pullback entry. UFO looks great. I got RSI hitting new highs. That's a gaming activity stop. VIRT hitting new highs. Nokia hitting new highs. Listen, these aren't amazing, but when you combine it with like LITE, Sienna, and all the others, how can you be like super bearish here? I just can't be that bearish. I liked also this OVID pullback to the 21 EMA. No volume surge here. Really need to study it, but it had a catalyst event. If this would have been the highest volume bar that you see in this chart, I'd be way more interested with this continued max green bop, but it's a $2 stock. It's a biotech. I really don't know how I feel about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't have that much conviction behind this. Speaking of conviction, though, SIDU was a new recent long. They almost shook me completely out. My final stop was at 2. It did not hit. It actually hit that, but did not trigger at 2. So I still have 5% of the original position, but that's what happens in this market. I get long. It initially works, sits back, runs my stops on the downside, then works. That's what's going to happen in a choppy market. So I'm not upset about that. Also, though, SWMR, number one intraday trade idea on this day, number one on this day for those that can day trade, where I cannot because I live on Maui. Then number one idea on this day, then number 2 on this day. Finally, it works today. Wasn't around intraday for this move. Hopefully, all members. I couldn't have made this more clear to members, guys. This day, this day, this day, this day. After the close, each and every day, I told you guys to watch it for a breakout intraday. Today's signal to me was above 50, was the clean breakout, ran all the way to 68. Love seeing it. Love, love, love. So hopefully some of you guys were able to capitalize on that. I'm on the swing side. And with that being said, normally markets like this kill me. I believe the IBD swing trader product is down over 20% so far since these highs. I am at new account highs. Why? One stock, Fastly. I bought it on this day here, the delayed entry. Since then, beautiful, beautiful move. But right now in this market, I love EPs and I love breakouts on EPs, but I like pretty charts. I like to get long, nice looking charts like OVID. But in this market, they're really not working. What's working are these EP breakout names. GLW back here, just notice the highest volume bars and what they've done since. TSEM, I missed this Oriole news, but it then worked out post the move. Still, it's what I like. PL, I have a buy stop on this one above this high. This is going to be my stop on it if it triggers, fills, and fails. But right here, I do have a buy stop on the books on PL above this high. But we bought it here on the last EP event, skipped this one, bought it here on this EP event, put the buy stop here, haven't engaged it yet. Besides that, post its EP event, pulled back, delayed entry. That has worked well. DELL has worked extremely well with its EP event here. Breakout, nice move there. LWLG, long this name, looking good post its EP event. Notice how it's holding up. AAOI is now finally starting to base out for me. I would love to see it get closer to this high. Build a handle, would be very interested in that. Already reviewed FSLY with everybody. KOD just had a recent EP event. Then it had earnings. I would love to see this consolidate so I can get long. ARM had an EP event consolidating. Looking for an entry on this one moving forward. MRVL, I am long this one after its earnings and then NVIDIA news. Still, notice that the volume wasn't huge. So do I have a huge position? Am I long MVLL? No and no. And then TH was the recent EP event that I went long with its lodging for the AI data center in North Texas, probably Meta, not quite sure yet. Beautiful, had a buy stop above today's close or yesterday's close and a buy stop above yesterday's high of the day. Beautiful follow through today. I would love to also get a delayed entry on this one, but this is what's working in this market right now. Don't believe the bearish narrative, and also with the news failures today, my bias is still to the upside, but I 100% I'm getting my marching orders from this midterm election year chart. And after April's uptrend, I expect a ton of chop before we then get into Q4. And then I do expect by 2027, we'll be back at new all-time highs. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your Easter weekend. Aloha.